Welcome back to my channel, Miss Personal Finance, where we are budgeting our way to financial freedom. In today's video, this is going to be our household monthly budget for the month of September. Now, guys, this past month, September, was probably one of the tightest months we've had this year. I mean, this was a month where we had to follow the budget as closely as we could to avoid honestly not having enough to cover all of our fixed expenses and variable expenses. So let's jump right in. As you know, we are 1 month ahead, so we just pull our monthly expense. It's a fixed amount every single month. We've been playing around with that amount. So for the month of September, we pulled out $5,300 on the 1st, and that's actually what we had. Due to some other business expenses for that month, we didn't have any additional coming in. So what we had to work with was just the $5,300, and I say just the $5,300 because we typically have additional income from other sources such as the business or rental income, but last month we had a lot of business expenses, so again, it was a very tight budget. All we had to work with was what we planned or budgeted, which was the $5,300 from our 1 month ahead savings account. So moving down to the fixed expenses, like always, guys, always pay yourself first. We have this on auto draft, so until we go in and manually change it or update it, we're putting $200 a month towards investments. And you can use that towards savings, emergency fund, a buffer account, whatever it is, your future self will thank you when that time comes that you need it. All right, and for our mortgage, that's pretty standard. For all of our household expenses tied to the mortgage. Internet was $82 this month. Per usual, I had a call in due to some interruptions, and that's what the final amount was. Sling, because we don't have cable, that is our TV subscription. For childcare, that month it was $977. Okay, so for medical and dental, we switched which income source this was coming from. It was originally coming from my husband's self-employment, and now it's going to be tied into my W-2 employment. We just switched that over this plan year, so that's going to be different, a plus for our budget. Subscriptions stay the same at 10, and utilities, we just do our own budget billing, like some people call it equal payment plan, and we just find the average from the previous year and pay that amount every single month, the same amount, so it helps stabilize our budget, and it kind of evens out at the end of the year for the high months versus the low months, and so far so good. All right, so for fixed expenses, as I never remember to color code this, I guess green is good because it's below budget, and then red, not so good because it's above what you planned for. All right, well, that's as good as it's gonna get at this point. All right, so let's go ahead and add that up. That's going to be the 200 investments, 82, 63, 977, plus 10, plus 270. All right, so we were actually below. All right, next month, October, I will try to get it together. Okay, so for the student loan, we budgeted 100, we paid 100. Right now, it's actually at a $0 minimum payment due to the servicing hold or forbearance, but we try to at least put $100 towards it until that new bill comes up as we work towards other financial goals. Now for our variable expenses, this is probably the toughest part of our budget for this month. As you No, for us, September was a 5-week month, and that meant there was an additional week for household, gas, miscellaneous, all of the above. And I challenged ourselves, our budget, to only budget for a 4-week month. And the way we were able to actually stay within budget was a couple of things. First and foremost, we shopped our pantry. We went through our pantry. We went through our deep freezer. We cooked from home. We meal prepped. And we pretty much did all the things to ensure that we stayed within budget for our household. And our household includes groceries and household supplies. And guys, we did it. So I did not go over. We budgeted 800 and we spent 800. And for our 3 variable expense accounts, household, gas, and miscellaneous, we tend to put the same amount every month, except for sometimes on 5-week months. And whatever we don't use, we actually just roll over. So that allows us, instead of just pulling it out and starting at 0 each month, that allows us to kind of create a buffer in those accounts and those variable expense accounts, so that when we have months where things are not so equal, where we do kind of go over, we can just pull from those automatically and it doesn't affect our overall budget. So for this month, we were at budget for gas, household, and miscellaneous. So very proud of us there, whoop whoop. Now that's not something that I would probably recommend doing every 5-week month, but every once in a while you can stretch yourself and challenge yourself to just stay within budget and sacrifice just a little to meet your budgetary, is that a word? To meet your budget needs for that month or for that time period. Okay, so for birthday, we actually went just a little over. This was a milestone birthday. We planned 100. We didn't really know exactly what it would be, and that turned out to 80. I don't really want to do red, but because it is actually over, I will, but it was all worth it. And same for sinking funds. It's a little over, which is a good thing. So I'm actually going to paint that green. So anything over in the savings investment space, I count as a win, as a green. So there we are. All right, so let's count up our variable expense account. That's for 23 plus 800 plus 200. Okay, so that puts us at 1903. All right, so let's see where we are with our total balances. For fixed expenses, we had 3,197. For variable expenses, we had 1903. Debt was the same at 100. And let's see where that leaves us with the budget. 53. Minus our fixed expenses, minus our variable expenses, minus our debt payments. Okay, so that leaves us $100. And guys, that is so tight. And that's all we have to go towards savings for this month, or for the month of September, which is better than nothing. But moving forward into the last quarter of the year, we do really want to focus on bolstering our savings. That kind of took a hit during the summer when I was on a leave of absence from work. So this here, we never really planned for what we have remaining. All right, so this is our budget, or this was our budget closeout for the month of September. I am just super excited that we were able to stay within the $5,300, and that is with a month of no additional income coming into our household budget. We had to keep all of that in our business expenses and for our business budget, so there was nothing to roll over, and we were able to do it. This next month should go back to a 4-week month, so we don't have to scrounge and be as frugal with our budget. But it was still a good experience to kind of go through that and see how we can tighten up the purse strings and kind of stick to our budget. on one of those tough months. Okay, guys, that's all for this video. Comment below if you had a rough September or just how your September budget went in general. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, whatever you put your energy and focus toward, you're bound to see progress.